finishing up my LAADAC, and I'm doing my practicum at Aftermath.
Oh, nice. I think Matt told me that.
Yes, fun. It's gonna
Fun. That's a fun crew over there. Love them.
So I'm gonna just share it.
We are live. I should have acted surprised.
We're live.
We're live. I hope nobody missed me last week.
We all missed you.
I felt like, hey, we're gonna come in and we're gonna really knock it out the park tonight. And we have an unbelievable guest, an amazing guest, and we'll introduce her in a second.
I was looking for her.
Yeah, she's on the fourth block.
I'm just sharing it, so then I go off of that to kind of read the comments. Sorry, I'm getting interrupted right now. Connor, you need to go downstairs right now. Okay, excellent. It's fine. Okay, so it's a little crazy in this house right now.
We don't take ourselves too serious here.
Don't. It's fine. Getting interrupted by my 6-year-old. It's all good. Okay. Greater Waltham Recovery Solution mission is to connect those with substance use disorder to recovery treatment services. Additionally, we offer scholarships to safe and effective sober living, educate the public through community outreach, and help veterans access premier quality treatment. Our organization embraces cultural diversity and is inclusive of every race, religion, sexual orientation, veteran status, socioeconomic background, disability, and age group.
Boom, nailed it.
Okay, so I'm finishing sharing it and we'll see if we have any comments yet.
Let's go over our wonderful team. So our wonderful team was able to scholarship a gentleman last week. So hooray to all of us, especially our teammates that aren't on the podcast or the live right now. So we got Julie Bunch. She's our executive director. We got Deb Moore. She's our assistant director. Both of them were our co-founders. We have Jessica Grillo, who's our secretary. Kim G. She's our social media extraordinaire. We have Linda Powell, who is our registered nurse. We have Mandy McGowan. We have Richie Evans, who handles our operations and things of that nature and does some consulting for us. We have Kara, who's new to our team. She's on the outreach team and she does wonderful work and she's a hard worker. And we got myself. So, and I don't know what I do. You do
a little of everything.
The utility player.
Yeah. So we already have a couple comments. Olga Anna Gomez says, hi, everyone. Hi, Olga. Thank you for tuning in so religiously. It's amazing. I hope you get something out of it. Linda Danzig Rosenberg said, hi, Maureen.
Oh, I love her. Hi, Linda.
Rory Sly said, so happy to be here tonight.
Thanks, Rory. Thanks for always tuning in.
Mandy McGowan says, love you all.
Aww.
We love you more.
Hearts.
Mac Annams did the fire symbols. I don't know why I think this is the fire symbols, but that's fine. Ken Tom said, what's good all? Nice to be here again. Day 144.
Good stuff. Keep going. Keep going.
Peter Burke said hello to all. Hi, Peter.
Hey, Peter. It's been a while.
Hope you're doing well. Kevin Caprio said, hi, everyone.
What's up, Cap?
Nelson K said, hi, everyone. Allison I'm going to butcher the last name. Velux said, hey, everyone. Hi, Allison. And then that's it for now.
That's
so
awesome.
We're going to play our little game.
Let's play the game.
Let's play the game.
I'm excited. Big money, big money, big money.
Okay. What we're doing?
Yeah, so we're spinning the wheel. We're at whatever number the wheel lands on or the app on. 13. So that's the donation tonight. So donations go towards our Dollars for Angels campaign. Our angels are people that are still out there struggling from substance use disorder. And once they're ready and once they're willing to chase this recovery and start the process, we want to be able to fund safe, reputable, sober living for them. And our motto is we never want to have to say no. So we always want to have some money in the pot.
Oh, Mike, you're muted.
Did I just cut off or did you miss all of it?
No. Oh, you missed the whole thing. Just kidding.
You're muted. You're muted is the quote of 20 to 21. So
absolutely. So how do you do this now? How do you donate?
Okay, so
Great
excellent
question.
question. Excellent question. See, perfect setup. You are a pro. So you go on Venmo and you
Okay.
type at Recovery
Oh,
Solution.
wait. Open Venmo because
Woo!
I have to
There
say it
you go.
into it. I can't find it. I open Venmo.
A live donation. This is
Look
exciting.
at this. This is a first.
Oh, for
Well,
God's sake.
George did a live donation.
I got to do it a lot of times apparently in order for it to open. I'm not technologically adept. Open Venmo. You have to say it nice. There it goes. Okay. I have to say it nicely. Otherwise it doesn't do it. So then what do I do now? I
So
type
at Recovery Solutions. And it should say Julie's name at the bottom. It should say Julie Bunch.
No, we change it. So now it says Greater Waltham, I
Oh,
believe.
Greater Waltham. All right.
Yeah.
So that's how you know you're on the right account. And if it asks you for a code, it's 0143.
So that's the magic number we asked for tonight was lucky 13.
13. So if you guys can
That number.
13, that's great. If you can't quite come up with 13, anything less than that, $1 is fine. $2 is fine. If you want to double that, you can make it 26, but
Ooh.
13 suggested donation, and anything you get from us, we're extremely grateful for.
And this is not going to us, this is going to our scholarship fund so that we, like Mike said, never have to say no. So anyone reaching out to us for scholarship for sober living or for, something else that we've talked about, veterans, that we can help them, that we can, and these are all, like we said in the mission statement, good, reputable, sober houses. Mike will vet them, I'll vet them, and make sure they're going to a safe place. Oh, so Danielle Gallagher asked if it has to be through Venmo. So if you don't have Venmo, what you can do is you can send a check. We'll contact us on the page and then we'll figure out where to send the check, or another way for us to, if you don't have Venmo, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it asked me to confirm the last 4 digits. Is that necessary?
0143.
Sorry.
0143.
Yep.
Your payment is on the way.
Woo! First one.
That was easy. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hold on. Olga Anna Gomez said, I get so much from you guys. You guys help me so much. That's awesome.
thank you, Olga.
Danielle Gallagher said, hello all. Mandy said, Maureen, you are my hero, my mama bear, my everything. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you. You were there to protect me through my hardest times in life, protected me in court, and protected me from the media and so on. I am forever grateful and blessed to have you in my life.
Oh, now I'm going to cry.
I know.
Oh, so sweet.
And Kathy Spencer Toronto said, hello, everyone. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Miss Teresa said, hi, happy Sunday.
Hi, Mom.
Happy Sunday.
Is that your mom?
Yeah, my mom. She's my only fan.
She's the fan club, huh?
She's awesome. She's here every Sunday. She's watching and she comments.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So if you need to send a check, it's 23 Rayham Street, Waltham. So REYEM, Waltham. So it's in the comments, but in case you guys don't have Venmo and want to send a check, and if you don't want to send a check and there's another way you want to donate, just reach out to us and we'll figure out. And we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yep. And we're actively taking applications. We're actively scholarshiping people. So please fill out an application. Myself, Julie, Richie may reach out to you and follow up and do like a brief assessment, but we're actively scholarshiping. So we're not too many organizations have the money right now to do so, but we happen to have because of you guys donating to us, and we've been so super grateful for that.
That's great. Magnolia had to go quiet there for a little bit. We're working with drug court and corrections, but we're not doing scholarships like we used to. We used to do like 10 a month, and we can't do them right now because of the donations. So it's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing it. It's so
we're trying to be innovative with ways and means to raise money. So this is one of them.
I can see that. You got money out of me.
We're Vanna White, right? We're spinning the wheel. We're picking a magic number and trying to make some fun out of it, I guess. Tom, I want to say Tommy, but it says Thomas Cacavaro said, Maureen is the best. I love her.
Oh, he's a dog.
Tommy. So let's introduce Maureen. So we know Maureen, but the folks watching might not know Maureen. So Maureen is a mother, educator, recovery advocate, an author, family recovery coach. She's the president of Magnolia New Beginnings, a national nonprofit. They offer peer-to-peer support. They offer scholarships for sober living. She's also, which is very cool, a NAADAC approved family trainer. She does family trainings. It's called FAST, Family Focused Addiction Support Training. She offers peer-to-peer support to family members who have a loved one that's struggling, and offers good advice and numerous things. I mean, her resume is extensive. She's a master. She has a master's in education, and she does a lot of consulting and works with different programs and things of that nature. So we're very lucky to have Maureen on. She's a keynote speaker, so you're in for a hell of a speaking engagement. Not to put the pressure on you, but
No, not at all.
So here's Maureen. So Maureen, I like to start off every meeting like this. So how has substance use disorder impacted you?
Oh my God.
Or what's your connection to
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it impacted me in utero. So my mother and my whole family had substance use disorder, and so I grew up with it, and thought really that that I was maybe smarter than everybody else. So I would move away from it. You can move away from your family that has substance use disorder and that struggles with this, and then it won't affect you. Well, we all know that that's ridiculous, that it's 50% genetic. And even if you don't have it, it's still impacted your life, the trauma, the PTSD of all the years of dealing with that. And the ways that addiction affects a child growing up. We have certain personality traits that we carry with us. And so there was no moving away from it. And I had 4 kids and thought that, I'm doing everything. I'm having Sunday dinner with them, right? When they tell you you have dinner every night with them, then your kids won't have addiction. Right. So, which is another, load that we're told that's just not true. Well, you talk to your kids, and we talked all the time. And my daughter, who was the third of 4, she and I were very close and almost, like buddies. And she would tell me everything. But, I had a lot of rules. By the time you get around to the kid number 3, you have a lot of rules. Know what you're doing. So she's the best kid in the whole world. Worked and went to school and planning on going to college to be a special education teacher, because that's what I was doing. And in the end of high school, the beginning of college, she started to experiment with drugs, and didn't take long. And like one minute she was having a couple of beers, and the next minute she was doing heroin. But and I, because I wasn't expecting it, but it is 50% genetic. And sometimes even if you think you're doing all the right things, you can do, you only have so much of impact on another person. You don't have control over what somebody else tries. And if they've got that genetic predisposition, which she absolutely did, it just was all downhill after that.
And so was Katie the only member of your children, like your direct children, afflicted with substance use disorder?
Yeah. Isn't that, I guess I was very fortunate, because now I see that, she didn't even know what was happening before it just took her, and so it wasn't anything that I did. I love, there was nothing, if we could prevent this, or if we could make it happen, then I for sure would have,
Right.
definitely gone the same route. Or if I could prevent it, then I wouldn't have had 3 kids and only one that had it. And the one that had it was actually in a million years, I would have never expected it to be her. Like, even looking back on it,
That's crazy.
Right. So people think I present in high schools a lot. And when I have this graphic that is the warning signs of early warning signs of addiction, the warning signs of suicidal ideation, and what typical adolescence looks like. And they're all the same.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
it's
Wow.
absolutely severity. I mean, if it gets more and more severe, and the typical adolescence, people like kind of grow out of that moodiness and all those things, but it kind of looks the same. And unless you're looking for it and expecting it, which who does that, right? Because
Right.
when we have our children, we're looking at them and they're still there. You know, he'll be 40 years old and we're still looking at him like, oh, look at how cute he is. So, I mean, it's just parents, right? So you're not expecting any of this. So yeah, kind of, even with all I knew about addiction, which I thought I knew a lot, I really didn't, but all I knew about addiction swirling around me in my own family, I didn't see it.
So that's
So
interesting, because like I feel like, no, I can't really yell this. Like I feel like sometimes with my kids, like I have a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old, I have 2 boys, that I'm like hyper focused on, they're gonna be addicts because they came from 2 people who suffer from addiction, that I'm like lasered in on. And I've talked about this before. Oh, he's so into the Avengers, he's so addicted to this, or he's so addicted to that. And I'm like almost to the point that like the opposite, you know, that you don't look for. I feel like I'm looking for it too much sometimes, and I get nervous like that. I don't know, Mike, if you feel the same way. Well, your son's so little, that we
he's
feel like,
just playing signs already.
yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, they're addicts.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
so it's hard. It's do you look for it and not see it, or do you see it and it's.
I mean, we talked about it, we discussed it when she started drinking a little bit, and, you know, in the beginning of college and stuff, and the end of high school, I was just very, this is, you know, you have to understand, we come from a family with I mean, I used to take my grandmother to the methadone clinic when I was first driving. So this is like, I come from a long line of this. And this is not, you know, it just, I don't think you can't protect them enough.
No.
Fortunately, we had like really open communication, which was a good thing. And she told me the first time she, you know, that she felt like she had tried a few things. One of them was heroin. She was a little scared, got her into treatment. So I underestimated the power of the drug and thought she would always tell me. But then
I
as
think
things took hold, she avoided any way of me finding out after that.
I think that's the most important, that you had the lines of communication open for her, because in my opinion, or my thought about the diseases, there is no real prevention, right? There's education, but there's no real prevention, because it's such an internal struggle that no one, the amount of love that I felt, or the amount of love I was given, had no bearing on me turning into a person who was addicted to heroin. It's just internal. It's totally internal. It was the thoughts that I couldn't shut off. It was the feelings of separation and isolation, and the feelings of being unique and not like my peers. There are so many things that go into play when someone turns to drugs to feel connected to one another. Like, there is no prevention. I feel like the only thing we can do is educate and keep those lines of communication open.
I think that building resiliency too. I think that that's really important with children for prevention. I mean, like you said, you can't prevent it 100%, but I think when you if I looking back, you know, what is the one thing, if I could change one thing? Because like you said, we had really good communication. We were close. She knew she was loved. There was no concerns about that. And there was no trauma. No, you know, I mean, trauma is different for every person. So, you know, one person sees their dog get hit by a car and they're ruined for the rest of their life. And another person sees their whole family die in a car accident and they become the president of IBM, you know, the CEO of IBM. So you never know what's going to be the thing for somebody. But there was no, you know, nothing you could go back and point your finger at. So I think that looking back, that would be the one thing that I would actively try to do is create resiliency and foster that in my children more than I did. And you know, that ability to bounce back from the bully in school, the ability to bounce back. This is a perfect opportunity too. I know COVID is awful and everybody's locked in the house, but there are some people that have crawled in a ball and hate everything and just hating on this. And others that are just like, you know what, we're going to get through this and we're going to be not like a clown all day, every day. You know what I mean? But the general kind of feeling is we're going to get through this. We're going to be better than we were before. And we're going to deal with it because life deals you sometimes a crappy hand. And how you deal with it is really and your attitude while you're dealing with it. So
like instill a more optimistic perspective on life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's, you can get through anything. You see people that, got through the Holocaust and
Right.
and and they didn't go, they had a good attitude and they were grateful and they went on to have good lives. And if and all kinds of other things. I mean, there's people that are hiding in bomb shelters across the world all the time. And somehow they managed, but that's the key is how you get through it, not just surviving it.
Right.
I think that's the same thing. If you can build that in our children, if we can build that in our child, I used to be a teacher. If we can build a special ed teacher too. So I had a lot of kids that had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And that was always my thing when I was teaching is you have to, you got this thing, it sucks, you have this disability. And at the end of the day, no one's going to give you special circumstances. So you got
Right.
to say, this is what now I got to work twice as hard, but I got to be okay because that's how we go forward. Right.
That's great, because I'm like trying to think, I'm like, how do you build resilience? And this COVID's a perfect example. My son is miserable being home. He hates it. He hates school. He's miserable. And I try to have that same conversation with him that when you're not, what is it? Now I'm going to mess up the line. It's if you're not adapting, you're not changing, I think is the line that you have to, or if you're not adapting, you're not growing. So to try to, you have to learn how to pivot around situations instead of feeling stuck in them.
Don't we do that for the rest of our lives?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
You know what I mean? We just
Yeah.
are constantly being hit with one. I'm not supposed to curse.
almost did it. We almost did it. You would give us the green light to go.
But we're constantly being hit with one thing after another. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I got this, and pivoting and, and that's kind of how, the people that are successful, that's what happens. They just say, okay, I'm going to brush myself off and look at me now. I'm a little bit stronger.
Yep.
Adversity is the greatest learning tool. I mean, it's the greatest sharpening tool just to become a better, stronger version of yourself. I love adversity now. Like I embrace it because it's like I know I'm going to come out of there like a wiser man, a person who's able to be more useful to others. So it's like adversity is almost, I embrace it now.
So a couple comments, and then just a reminder about our magic number tonight was lucky number 13.
13.
It's a lucky number, so you got to donate. The Venmo information is at Recovery Solutions, and if you need the code, it's 0143. We're asking our viewers to donate $13. If you can't, that's fine. You can donate less than that. You can always donate more, and this is to go into scholarships for our angels.
For our angels, dollars for angels, please.
Because we never want to have to
say no.
Boom. Okay. Carrie Ann Cacavaro said Maureen is the mom of all moms. Her influence, her voice, and her love to us all has been a complete game changer. Thank you, Maureen, for all that you do and all the love you spread. Tommy and I absolutely love you.
Oh, this is great. I should do this every week. I'm going to be like, this is awesome.
Okay, Maddie O'Malley said, all you guys are rock stars. You're the rock star, Maddie, too. Michelle Favreau said, hi, Kathy. Michelle Favreau. Linda Blundell said, hi, everyone. Hi, Linda.
Linda, love you.
Ken Tom said, facts, addiction isn't just on the bad side of the tracks. Absolutely. And that is it for comments. And again, you guys, if you have any questions for Maureen, any comments, any questions for us, please feel free to comment and we'll share them.
Yeah. So Maureen, tell us about your book. So I got to tell you a story since we have you on tonight. What's that? I
said story time.
Yes, it was a little bit of a story time. So I was at Stop and Shop earlier and I was in the ice cream section. And since you were going to do the show, I thought of you from the, your ice cream addiction during that part of your book. So
somebody sent me a meme today that said, don't ask a woman who's eating ice cream out of the carton, directly out of the carton, how she's doing. It's like, yes.
Yeah. So
hang on.
Tell us a little bit about the book, or if you want to read an excerpt from it, or
hold on. I'm going to pause you for 1 second because someone asked us to repeat the Venmo. Diane Andrews Clark said, Maureen has helped me many times with the bed list. So the Venmo information is at I should have written it down. I can write it down too and hold it up. At Recovery Solutions. And the PIN code is 0143. And the magic number tonight is 13, but you can donate more, you can donate less. But that's what we're asking for tonight.
I'm such a dork. I wrote at. That's what took me so long. Yeah. This is what happens when you put old ladies.
I'm gonna write it and put it up. So go on with the question. Sorry, Mike.
No, you're fine.
The book came out in 2018. It was published by Henry Holt, Macmillan. I was contacted by somebody who read about me in the New York Times, a literary agent, about writing the book. And actually, at first, he wanted somebody else to write it, but I wrote a bunch. I've always been writing, and I sent a couple of pages in, and we agreed that I could write the book. And I wrote the book in the middle of probably the worst, although it's always hard to say what was worse, one of the worst parts of her addiction, of my daughter's addiction. So she was running when I was writing this, and I was getting her in and out and in and out. And if I was telling you earlier that I'm doing my LAADAC now, and my licensed alcohol and drug counseling licensure, wrapping that up. And part of that is doing a practicum, and I'm doing my practicum at Aftermath and with Matt, and he's in the book. So he's in the book a lot, actually. I think he's told me that this was the only book he's read since he had to read when he was in school.
We got an author on our show, and our previous guest was in the book.
Yeah,
well,
there's a lot of Massachusetts people in this book.
That's awesome.
Because I don't know what, I don't know what I would have done without him. I would have been in some big trouble without him, and he taught me everything, without a doubt, everything I know about how to help people. there was never any time that, that I called him, that he didn't answer me, that I was confused about what to do, that he didn't have the time. I don't know how he did it, honestly, because I tortured the poor kid. He just helped me all the time, and it showed me how to help other people too. You just do it. It's got nothing with him. It's never had anything to do with where he was working, what he was doing. He's just always there for people. And I try to do the same thing, because I've learned so much in the last, 8-9 years of doing this. Magnolia is incorporated in 2012. So it's been a long time, but learned so much that it can't all be for just pain. It needed to be used somehow. I'll read a little bit.
And I'm going to hold the sign up. So if anyone needs to donate, I got to see if you guys can see.
I'm going to curse. There's cursing in here.
That's correct. No,
That's
then
fine.
wow.
You can bleep me out. I'm not sure how I get into the car, but I know I'm on my way to kill Bob. Oh, I should tell you the name of the book is If You Love Me.
If You Love Me. And where can people purchase
Anywhere,
it?
Really.
Oh,
It should be available in bookstores if we went into stores anymore, but it's on Amazon. Right, I'm sorry. Winter 2017. I'm not sure how I get into the car, but I know I'm on my way to kill Bob. I don't want to take my eyes off the road because I'm feeling unsteady, and it's important I get there. I don't want to miss him. A few minutes can make all the difference. I can see in my mind's eye the bat cracking across his skull. I won't stop there. I will beat him, a man twice my size, in front of whoever is there, despite his cries for mercy, over and over, until he stops moving, stops crying out, stops destroying my beautiful Katie. I won't quit until he isn't breathing. Then I will spit on him, something I've never even considered doing to anyone in my 54 years of life. I will do all of this, and I will never have a moment's guilt over it. I reach over and touch the top of the bat. This is long overdue. The calm exterior that the world sees is about to shatter. The last chain of events has broken something, and I know what I need to do. And I can't remember the last time during this horror show of the past few years when I was so clear about anything. So many unanswered questions, so many late night pleas to God, so many theories about what I did wrong. It's a relief to finally have an answer, even this one. It's been so very long since I felt anything other than heartbroken that I'm pretty convinced it's never been any other way. I look down at my body, 20 pounds heavier. The doctor warned me about that 2 years ago when I started to take the 50 milligrams of Zoloft for the paralyzing anxiety that looked a lot like sadness. But somehow the weight still snuck up on me. It's not the small pill causing the gains. I know that. It's my secret relationship with Ben and Jerry. Nothing other than peanut butter cup will do, and I've hunted through store after store until I find it. Then I go home, climb into bed, watch a sitcom with a laugh track, and comfort myself with on-demand mindlessness and empty calories. It could be worse, I tell myself. I know this is true because I've seen much, much worse. I've seen so much pain in the last few years. I hadn't known just how much pain the world can contain. It crushes me sometimes, not just my own, but the pain of so many others also trying to hang on to whatever shred of their loved ones they can. I don't know how I got here. There is never a day that goes by that this does not feel surreal. I can't save my daughter Katie, and sometimes that feels like the only certainty in my life. I can't make her stop using drugs any more than I can keep her from leaving any of the over 40 treatment centers she has left, or safeguard her from the double-digit number of overdoses. I finally come to the realization that there is nothing I can say or do that will make a real difference. She's going to leave the facility she's in now, and I know that because she called and told me so. I tried to talk her out of it, saying all of the things I've said 1,000 times before, the things that have helped 100 people before her. But I could hear the venom in her voice. Some switches flipped and she's ready to run. Not the first time, but I know it could be the last. This will be one of several treatment centers where she has been doing well, and suddenly she decides to leave, courtesy of a 56-year-old piece of shit named Bob. I'm drifting to one side of the road when my phone rings and snaps me back to attention. I hope for a brief second that it will be the call, the one I dreamed about, that will tell me this is all a mistake, nothing to worry about. Go home and eat your ice cream. And when I realize that isn't happening, I wonder briefly if people on the way to kill someone answer the phone. There really isn't a rule book or protocol for this, so I reach for it and study the name of the caller.
Wow. Powerful stuff. So how did you come to realize that you were powerless over Katie, whether she stayed in treatment, whether she used, didn't use? Like, did you go to peer support for that? Or was that just Matt's knowledge of addiction?
I reached out to a lot of people and I developed my own way of thinking, I think, because when I would go to these peer support groups, they would tell me that I was supposed to cut her off, not, cut her off for 3 months, don't talk to her. She's got to hit rock bottom. And it was like she hit rock bottom every Tuesday, Thursday, that was not happening. That was not helping. And there was no way I was cutting her off and not talking to her. That wasn't happening either. So I came about my own way of thinking about this that didn't include that. And it took a long time to get there. It did. I mean, but so that's why I'm committed to doing things differently and sharing what I know with people, because I know for a fact, I know too many people that have lost children to tell anybody to cut anybody off.
Right.
And we all know, I mean, it's a fact that the biggest reason why people go get treatment, it's not because they overdose, it's not because they're tired or grown up or any of those things. The number one reason that people get treatment is their family. So, and so turning your back on somebody, in my opinion, is not, doesn't mean you have to pay for things, doesn't mean there's lots of things you don't do, but you certainly never cutting them off from your love.
Right.
But I love that you take that stance because it's very, it's an opposing stance to like many family peer support groups that you've probably attended or attempted to attend. So I love that you take that stance. I think that's so vital. I mean, knowing that you have emotional support through this process is so essential, because if you're an addict that suffers from addiction, you don't feel very lovable. You don't feel very loved, whether you are or not. And that's the lie you tell yourself. So,
right. And so making somebody feel less loved and kind of like their existence is pointless because their own family won't talk to them, I don't think is helpful. I know it's not helpful. I mean, because I wind up scholarshiping through Magnolia, hundreds of people who didn't have any family that would talk to them anymore. And hey, listen, I understand bad things happen and you have to protect yourself too, but that doesn't mean you have to cut somebody off completely.
Right.
Love it.
So I got a lot of extra kids out of the deal.
You did, I know. Look at
You
every
got hundreds and thousands of kids.
I do. We need some grandchildren from some of these children, these extra kids.
Tara Shannon said, Mikey Legs is the best. Maureen, I love your passion and drive. If anyone is looking for resources or supports for yourself or family members, the Bridge Recovery Center in Malden is welcoming those in need. It's a free resource program to help those suffering with fears of moving forward in life. You can reach out to myself or Carrie Ann Cacavaro for help. We are opening to anyone struggling with open arms. Carrie Ann Cacavaro has an amazing program at the Bridge Recovery. So true. And check it out. You know, we do, me and Mike and Julie are trying to run a Mara group too. So
Nice. Yeah.
It's via Zoom. So there's a lot of great resources on there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ken Tom said book title again, but then, so it's called If You Love Me by Maureen Cavanagh.
Yeah. A mother's journey through her daughter's addiction and recovery is the subtitle.
Tara Shannon said, Matt Gannon saved my life. He's the best. We love Matt Gannon. Chris Albano said, love you, Legs. You're my hero.
Love you, Chris. You're my hero, buddy.
Maureen, always great to hear you. You guys are great. Thank you, Chris. Rory Sly said, thank you for Magnolia's great help there and lots of support. Diane Andrews Clark said, my daughter is alive today only because she was scholarshiped to rehab. Much love for all that you do.
Awesome.
And then Sienna Crawford said, hi, Mama Bear.
I love it.
You have a lot of baby bear cubs running.
I do. I love that.
Any
too.
children.
So far we have gotten $113 tonight for donation.
Wow.
So it's at Recovery Solutions. Zero. I don't know if people can see this or if it's going to come up backwards, but
no, it's fine.
Our magic number tonight was 13. I should have put a 13 on there, but it's fine. You can donate 13 if you can. You can donate more. You can donate less, because our motto is,
we never want to have to say no. We always want to have something in our scholarship fund to provide. So it's dollars for angels. Angels are people who are out there still struggling, still in active addiction. Once they're ready to embark on this journey and change their life for the better, we want to be able to provide them safe, sober living. Once they've completed treatment and things of that nature, detox, CSS, res, whatever. But we want to be able to provide for them safe housing. And we do so by your donations. We're supported by your donations. So we're all volunteers. All of us on the team are volunteers. The money strictly goes towards scholarshiping for people in need.
So important, because people do all their best work and they're feeling really like they can do this and they have no place to go after that. You know, they're back out couch surfing or on the street or something. Can't stay sober like that.
right.
Then it's a depressing way to live. It's like, how can you live? Like, you know, you're scrambling to put a roof over your head. How can you focus on bettering your life, bettering the quality of life, chasing spiritual goals and wellness if you have no safe place to stay?
Absolutely.
We have questions, Michael?
Oh yeah, I didn't know you were doing like this thing. I thought you were prepping for something. So I'm actually really interested in the modalities or the curriculum for the family focused addiction support training. I'd like to know what that entails personally, and just for people out there who may be interested, because that seems really cool.
Sure. I do trainings at treatment centers. I'm trying to get, every treatment center needs to have a family program. They don't need to have just a family therapist. They should have a family therapist too that works with families in a counseling situation. But they need a family program where you can learn, connect, and be supported. And the problem is that there's a lot of places that say they have them, but really nobody does, right? So my training is a training for treatment centers that helps them get this family program off the ground, and I do consulting too. I also do work with just families as well and other groups, but that's my heart is in getting all of these treatment centers to get a family program together, like a real one. And and to create family meetings as well. So I also I'm teaching at North Shore. I teach this program and bits of the program and the full program in lots of different places. But the goal is really to have this family meeting where people are learning how to take care of themselves, and people are feeling supported. So the curriculum is basically There's a CCAR one-day training on family recovery basics. I think they might have done away with it. It's not enough. So this is my version of the recovery coach training for families.
Sure. Sure.
What I did is I became a CCAR trainer, and I didn't become a CCAR trainer because I really wanted to do that. It's because I could not get enough information, and I
Right.
needed it all in one place. So when I work with families, because I work with families as a family recovery coach one-on-one too, and when I do that, we'll, or in our family meetings in Magnolia, which we have on Thursdays and Sundays, we'll have a little bit of a educational module at the beginning of the meeting, and we'll talk about, say, post-acute withdrawal syndrome. And we had 25 people in our meeting about that, and none of them had ever heard of it, except for one or two, the facilitators, but no one in the room had heard of it until I said that. So here we are, we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
What else to say it? It's like families are desperate for knowledge, yet there's no one teaching them the things that they need to know. Instead, they're standing around telling everybody their stories, and then no one really is trained, and they're just telling them to cut them off.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, families feel like I got to do something. I
Yeah.
have to do something. So that cutting somebody off is doing something. So then they feel like they're being proactive, and anything nice we do, we're told we're enabling. Well, what families can do is to educate themselves.
Right.
So we find out as much information as possible. And we connect to not only to other people that are going through this, but we connect to resources. So that when our child comes and says, Mom, I'm ready to go, we know who to call, because we know who's the good guy and the bad guy, and what services are offered at different places, and who's really has a mental health component and who's just saying they have a mental health component.
Yeah.
But I mean, we should be doing this at treatment centers. So I've created this curriculum, and it's goes in anywhere between half day and 4 days, depending on what people need to know. And I'm also teaching part of it in the Human Services program at North Shore Community College, because everybody eventually is going to be working with parents, right? You're
Right.
working treatment, you're going to be working with families. And I think she was in over 40 different entries into a facility. Some of them were the same, some of them were different, and we had good insurance too. So these were good places. We had 3 family meetings, and they were all around discharge planning. So anything that I learned, I had to teach myself. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I figured, I learned all this and I want to pass it on, but I also want to pass it on to professionals, because they need to know how to talk to us. Because I would get like a 23-year-old, God love them, that probably went through some social work program and had good intentions, telling me you got to cut them off, don't pay for her phone. And I would be thinking, why are you talking to me? You don't even own a cat.
Yeah.
You're not going to, what are you talking about? This is my child,
Right.
So
people that haven't been through it, how can they even, it's hard to
and even if somebody's in recovery, that's not enough to know what it feels like to be on this side of it,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I've just done nothing but over the last, I don't know, 8 years, is educate myself, but educate, almost a trauma response. You know what I mean? I couldn't stop. I always tell people that Magnolia was created out of a trauma response, because I couldn't stop. And we have over 25,000 people, 25,000 members in Magnolia. And now we have the Zoom meetings, and now I'm doing trainings, and I do podcasts with Mike Wilson too, called Collateral Damage.
Yeah.
I mean,
another one of our
Right.
previous guests. Look at our roster. We have like superstars on here on the weekly.
Straight superstars all the
trying to
way.
get lots of information out there as much as humanly possible. And Magnolia is great too, because we don't allow anybody advertising. I don't even advertise in there. People don't even know what I do in there. And we have all these people in there helping each other, make sure that the information's good, and we're careful about that.
So speaking of resources, so what Greater Waltham Recovery Solutions, what we do is we provide recovery coaches in the community. So reach out to us if you need a recovery coach. We provide scholarship to sober living. We provide, Mike gets access to treatment. We actually just had someone reach out, comment the page that she wants to go into rehab. So Jess, please reach out to the page. We can get you in. That's something we do. Mike is literally incredible. Like, talk about one person who's a wealth of resources for treatment. Reach out to us. You know, we
It's like, how could you not know all this and then do something with it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't have, you could have no insurance, you could have mass health, you could have private insurance, whatever your case may be, we'll get you placed. We'll find the best fit for your situation. And whether you're insurance dependent, you have no insurance, or you have commercial insurance, we'll get you placed. And it's not a problem. It's a few phone calls away.
And so reach out to us. So and it's any level of care. It's not just detox, you know, it's residential, it's PHP, sober living, outpatient, MAT, any other level? Am I missing a level?
Yeah, detox, residential, inpatient, outpatient, MAT, sober living. Yeah, whatever you require, or whatever, we're gonna meet you where you're at. Whatever you think you may need, or what you think will be your best chance for success, we'll help you. We'll give you a little bit of consulting on that, and we'll get the ball rolling for you.
I always tell people too, I mean, and part of what I do is I do family coaching. That's one of the few, that and speaking and teaching is I get paid for. But if somebody says, oh, I can't afford that and I don't have, you know, I'm not able to do that, call me anyhow, because I'll just give you a bunch of free resources, because
Right.
honestly, I didn't have the money to do any of that either at certain points. So I was like maxing out my credit cards for treatment and stuff. So just call me. There's lots of free resources out there, including Magnolia.
Yeah.
And the book is available in the library too. So if somebody can't afford the book, they can get it from the library.
And that's what we kind of want to bring you, like the team wants to bring you guys on the Sunday Night Live, is we want to bring you these resources. You know, we have all these, so just reach out to us, and hopefully you guys are learning from it and from all different points of views, because like Maureen said, that something she really wished that she had in the beginning was these resources for family members, not just for the person suffering, you know, that for the family, for everything.
We're like we can be someone's their best chance at staying connected and inspired to keep going, or we can screw them up in 2 seconds. And usually we don't mean to screw them up, but boy, I had it down to about 1.5 minutes, I think, as soon as she got out of treatment. You know, I would say the stupidest things because I was scared.
Yeah.
And a nervous wreck and absolutely insane, which if you read the book, you'll
Well, what's just an example? What's an example of something that you just completely blew up?
Well, you mean, but aside from the fact that I went after a man twice my size with a baseball bat, I'm a special ed.
You're a mama bear. It doesn't matter how big they are.
I'm a mama bear. That is the truth.
You know, it doesn't matter.
Manzi sent me once in the definition of a mama bear, and it was the funniest thing, but it was so true. That what did I do? I looked for her. I kidnapped her once. I found her in a parking lot, pulled her out of a car and threw her in the back of my RAV4, jumped on top of her, and my ex-husband hit the gas. And yeah, that didn't work, in case you're wondering. Oh. that was not helpful. That just moved the whole issue to 2 towns over. That's all that did.
It didn't change anything.
No, I mean, when I finally started to realize that the only one I had any control over was me.
That's
and
it.
That when I needed to educate myself, I needed to calm the hell down, and I needed to be reasonable and loving and there and supportive and a calm voice when she needed me. That's when things started to change, because you know, no one wants to call a lunatic when you're being a lunatic, right? You want to call somebody that kind of can say, it's okay, it's going to be okay, you know what to do. And you know, and if you don't know what to do right now, I can remind you, but not do it for you. I mean, it's shifted, and when it shifted, things started to get better.
So other than the serotonin spike that the ice cream provided, what else did you do for self-care?
It was truly, I'm telling you, I was so crazy. It was definitely trauma. I built things. I built Magnolia. I did a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, if you would have known me then, and this was probably even a little bit before you, there used to be always these big recovery events in the beginning when everybody's and the stigma, everyone had a recovery event with the tables and the speakers and all that. I was at every single one of them. Sometimes it would be at one in the day and one in the night, like giving out information on Magnolia.
I miss
You know?
those days, resource days.
I know, right? I
So
know.
sad.
But I was at all of them, and I got got a lot of connections like that, met a lot of people, and it was good. But and it was good for me personally, but it kept me. I was just never stopped moving. It was really unhealthy.
So it was like not addicted to, like almost
Just to
of the things you could control because you couldn't control her. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gabby Brown said, Maureen and Katie's story seriously inspired me rebuild my relationship with my mom a few years ago. So grateful to be able to watch tonight.
And now she has the most beautiful baby in the whole world.
Isn't that amazing? What
Yeah.
are you saying, Mike?
No, I was just saying, Gabby, congrats.
Oh. So Rob G said, Benny Blanco, welcome home.
Oh.
Are you Benny Blanco?
Yeah, it's his nickname for me.
Oh, because I thought maybe we had a fourth guest that he could see.
No, that's just
Benny Blanco. Okay, let me see, make sure that this is then people are. So Ken Tom said good stuff because sometimes we don't know or care about the impact we have on our family, which is absolutely true. Roy Sly said the Zoom on Sundays is so awesome. I'm thankful I found you. Speakers are amazing, so knowledgeable. Thanks, Jess and Mike. I feel really blessed to have found you. Thank you, Rory, and thank you to the rest of our team. You know, we might be the ones there behind the scenes, you know, doing everything. So again, Julie Bunch, Debbie Moore, Mandy, Linda, Kim, Cara, Richie.
the
And
wolf.
and then you have us too.
Then just us two.
Then there's just us. Gabby said, oh, thank you guys. Recovery has made it all possible. So that's awesome. And again, our magic number tonight was 13. I think we're up to like $144, which is great.
Wow.
Thank you to all who have donated. This is going right into continuing to help people get scholarships into safe, reputable, sober living. So magic number was 13. You can donate more, you can donate less. And it goes to our angels. So I'll hold it up.
So you got so much stuff that you've accomplished, so many people's lives that you've impacted. Magnolia New Beginnings has such a wide scope and it impacts so many people's lives in a positive way. What's your favorite out of all these things? What's your favorite endeavor? I know you talked about the family trainings and training people at, institutions and treatment centers. What's right now? What's your current thing you love?
I really love this. I mean, it's more than just a job or anything. Probably, I mean, there's a lot of people that I've helped get into treatment, and then, and then we've scholarshiped. And a lot of times when someone doesn't have anybody at all, they'll stay in touch with me. And I mean, probably my favorite thing is all the people that I now have in my life that I wouldn't have had before, that really love me too. And I love them, like Mandy, like people like they, it really is like having more family. So that's probably one of my favorite things. And I'm really, I love working with people that are trying to get into recovery, but my thing really is the families,
And look at Mandy now, like you helped her 4 or 5 years ago or whatever. And now look at her. She's one of my favorite people on the planet. And
I always knew she would be. I always knew she would be. It was, a long, hard road, but she is amazing now. She's just put so much good into the world.
She really, you see it. It's incredible. So, and
we just got to keep you two separated at boxing because you're always causing a disturbance.
Boxing?
Yeah, boxing.
We haven't had boxing in like 3 years.
I know when we did, I'm saying.
Oh, so we don't cause chaos at our meetings. It's just at boxing.
Just at boxing.
Because we just love each other so much.
So give us an update. Give us an update on Katie. How's everything going with Katie? If it's okay with you.
Oh yeah,
Ann.
no, Katie, I'm surprised you didn't hear her laughing downstairs. She's downstairs right now. She's amazing. She's unbelievable. I mean, this is somebody that no, I don't think anyone aside from me thought was going to make it. People told me, because I, from reaching out, developed some really good friendships with people. And people would say, listen, Maureen, I know you want this to be okay, but it's probably not going to end well. You need to like get that in your head,
Wow.
because every time and I'm truly like 40 different times, every time she would want to go in again, I'd be like, okay, this is the time, this is going to be it. And, people would have to they would try to temper me down so that the shock wouldn't be so awful, but it's going to be awful anyhow, if anything happened to her. And, so she was that person. And now she's got over 3.5 years.
Wow.
She's in school. She has a good job at a hospital. She just bought a new car. She's looking for an apartment right now. She's really kind of awesome, amazing, I would just sometimes just look at her and think, oh my God, she's just not only recovered, but I mean, she's a better person than she probably would have been, because she knows what it's like to live through hardship, and she's lots of gratitude and that wanting to give back. And I'm just so incredibly proud of her.
That's such a good point. Like, to think that, because I feel that way about my sobriety. Like, I'm almost grateful for it. Like I have the fellowship, that I have, all the people I have in my life due to my addiction.
Yeah.
So she kind of, it's like the lotus. I know Carrie Ann loves the lotus flower. I love the lotus. It's a flower that grows from crap and then is this beautiful thing. And that's kind of how you just described Katie. Like, she went from this crap, 40 detoxes, placement. You were prepared to lose her to this disease in a way,
I always call myself delusionally optimistic. I was like, no, this is the time.
But you almost in your mind are like, okay, but and now look at that one. Look how amazing she's doing.
So the paperback has an extra chapter and it kind of explains what was going on a year later, but the hardcover book was written and she was coming out of her last treatment. So she was 3 days out of the last treatment when I finished the book and sent it off to the publisher.
Wow.
So I had no idea what was going to happen. I was almost afraid to even dream that it would be okay. And after that many times in treatment, her 3 days out of anywhere was not, it was like, okay, today's good. And that's kind of how I was by that point. So, I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen and what it was going to be like, but amazingly enough, everybody, because I talk about lots of people in the book, other people that I've gotten into treatment that were during that time that I was helping get into treatment. I was doing something else with them because I'd go out and do these things and people would wind up talking to me. And so everybody in the book is in recovery, which is amazing because every story I tell was somebody who really everybody had given up on.
Yep.
That's amazing. So
amazing.
How I'd like to close it out is if you can give parents out there who may have a child, or even wives or husbands out there that may have a husband or wife out there struggling, a tidbit of advice just to keep their own sanity. How hard that is regardless, but.
Yeah, no, I think that, like the model of our meeting is to get educated, to become connected to your community and the people that understand what you're going through, and to take care of yourself. So I think that, that's what we all need to do. And our meetings are at magnoliarecoveryresources.com. They can sign up for meetings, and they're on Thursday and Sunday, but they can just come on Thursday. I facilitate the meetings on Thursday. And there's other people do them on Sunday, and we're going to be expanding. We have book clubs and stuff, but this is like a community of people that understand, and they're all over the country. We got a heavy presence in Massachusetts, though.
That's what a great resource.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah, it's magnolianewbeginnings.org is the page for the Facebook groups.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maureen. And one last time, we're going to say, remind everyone, Dollars for Angels. We're still actively taking donations.
Where did my paper go?
So it's at Recovery Solutions. The suggested donation is $13 tonight. So dollars for angels. Angels are out there. People that are out there still struggling from substance use disorder. Once they're ready to get well, once they're ready to seek treatment, we want to be able to provide them aftercare. Aftercare being safe, sober living. We never want to have to say no. So please donate if you can. The lucky numbers tonight is $13. You can donate less than that. You can donate more than that, whatever you feel is doable. That's all I got. Jess, what do you got for us? Anything?
I think that's, so Lindell said, what wonderful congratulations to Katie. And Debbie said, Katie is such a love.
Aw.
But other than that, I think that's it. I think we did. Maureen, you're
was fun.
incredible. Can't wait to see you again in person, hopefully soon,
Oh, God, yes.
and I think that's a wrap. We went so our services again. So, and these are all free services. So just to decipher the two, the money we're asking to donate goes to scholarshiping people into sober living. These services that we're providing are free. So connecting people into like treatment placement, recovery coaching, intervention, no, family consultant.
Well, a referral to an interventionist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Referral to an interventionist. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
The treatment consulting, family consulting, recovery coaching.
Yeah.
Just a long array of things that we can do for you if you reach out. Just peer-to-peer support. If you just want a friend on the phone.
Mike will be your friend.
I can be your friend. I like being people's friend. And don't forget, guys, leave the world a better place than you found it.
Thank
Good night.
you. Have a good night.
Awesome.